You are listening to another Third Coast Nerds podcast. Make music go boom real loud now.
That wasn't really loud.
It wasn't really that loud. I could blast it, but it's going to make it louder. No, it's going to be annoying.
Yeah, it would probably hurt my ears.
Yeah. Hot water burn, baby.
What?
Hot water burn, baby.
Okay.
He does that a lot. Haven't you done that in like several of the podcasts I've been on?
I don't know why it's my go-to for like everything.
Or maybe it's just because I watched with
Did you watch the movie?
no, not that one. The one they make fun of that.
Like the Family Guy or whatever?
No, the Vietnam War movie with
Stripes?
Jack Black and
Jack Black.
Robert Downey Jr.
Man. I had it before you mentioned the names.
To the internets.
To the internets.
See if I can figure it out before you get it.
You said Jack Black?
Jack Black, Robert Downey Jr.
I'm the dude playing the dude disguised as the
Tropic
other dude.
Thunder.
Yes.
Tropic Thunder.
Yes.
I think they make that joke, and
Maybe.
I think they do.
Maybe.
And Sean and I watched that 2 weekends ago.
That's I don't know. I don't know if it's underrated or just not talked about much, but that is probably one of the most underrated comedies, of recent.
I've heard that the commentary is good. I'm going to try to watch that.
The director's commentary?
Yeah.
I haven't listened to director's commentary in forever on anything.
Some of them they're good, depending on. And I think that
Was that audible?
Something was.
That was the water revolting as it was struggling to yeah.
The cookies are good.
The oatmeal was a little rough, so it's probably expanding as we speak in my stomach. Right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
What's the cookies are? It's like oatmeal, chocolate, probably peanut butter. Yes.
Secret. Yeah.
Well, those are the three biggies.
I mean, not everyone knows the ingredients to an orgasm.
The secret ingredient is MSG.
okay, so
Actually, I'm going to change the recipe.
MSG is supposed to be good, and we keep looking at them when we said we wouldn't.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So, trying new technologies. So we have like 4 different camera setups. Not really have 2, but I like to exaggerate and go big. And a lot of other things hooked up here. So this is an awkward podcast, and we're without our brother Neil, or your brother Neil.
We're all brothers.
3CN brother Neil. Mm-hmm. Now
What?
I feel like we need church designations like Deacon Mike, your sister Kyle.
Well,
that got picked up by both cameras.
we do have a random Twitter thing today too. I'll be interjecting.
Yeah, yeah. It's not like we bribed someone to be as many people as he could be.
No, but at Ween Warrior 7, want to know why do hot dogs? That's the username. Ween Warrior 7 wants to know why do hit dogs? I'm assuming hot dogs come in packages of 6, but hot dog buns in packages of 8.
Because the Illuminati. That's
Actually,
why.
I buy them both in 8. If you buy the good hot dogs, they come with 8.
Okay.
Yeah.
There was always a mismatch, though, right? Like, there needs to be like a smaller, maybe like a buy, maybe in 4s, hamburger buns at least.
Because I don't want chili dogs twice in a week.
You can't.
Sometimes,
you're kind of limited. So it depends on how many people you have at your house. But it's always like they always try to force a festive situation. Like if you want hamburgers, you need to invite everybody over, or else you're not doing it right. Because America, right?
America.
You need to be at least serving enough to where they can cover 8 burgers, no less. If you live in a house of 2, get to eating.
I know. It's like you're going to have 2 every day for a couple of days.
Yeah.
You can just freeze it and then reheat.
Yeah, but it sucks.
I don't like the freezing
If you
bread
microwave
thing.
it sucks. If you toast it, it's good.
Yeah, but still, like
Bread frozen equals bad.
Yeah, pretty much.
Not
Yeah.
if you toast it.
Okay,
Toast it back, it's good.
Yeah, but if you toast it from frozen, which is the only reason I'd ever toast frozen is because there was nothing else and I wanted peanut butter on toast. Grandparents' house. They used to go to the Mrs. Barrett outlets centers, when they used to be around.
Oh, man, I haven't thought about one of those in a long time.
Yeah.
So we used to go there and they'd buy like a trunk full of bread. Like, no joke.
Yeah.
The trunk. And then you'd go to the house and there's just a freezer full of bread.
Yeah. Well, we used to get that brought to us at private school. There'd be like 4 trash bags of day-old donuts, crullers, and everything else. And then there'd be just loaves and loaves and loaves just piled high, like a pyramid of bread. And then we'd have like, I can't remember, it was like stale bagels, which no one liked. Like gigantic bagels the size of your head. And there would just be like 4 trash bags that no one took. What?
At Sleepless in the Saddle. Says, I am an audio listener, and before I check out the YouTube channel and crush my dreams, is Chad as sexy as his voice?
Yes, I am.
I beg to differ.
No, in reply to a real comment that we had on YouTube, someone asked if we're on AM radio. And unfortunately, no, we're not on AM radio. I think it was like AM 940 or AM 950 or something like that. That was the only question to date. This is like episode 24, 25, something like that. Mm-hmm. And this is the only question we've ever been asked on any of the comments anywhere is if we're on AM 950.
The question is why aren't we on AM 950?
This is, shoot, man, like with all the different, okay. We've got like 13 televangelist channels. We can at least be comic evangelists, you know?
Ooh. There's a market for that.
Yeah, preach the gospel of keeping to the core, you know, the core material.
Okay.
Sticking to the script. Have you ever driven somewhere, at least like through like East Texas, and listened to like just browse the AM channel? And
no,
this is what I like to do. This is what I like to do. I like to drive like whenever I'm going to work in Louisiana. On the drive out there, just flip through the AM channels and freak the hell out. Because if you break down there, you're amongst them.
Yeah. See, I've seen. No, I couldn't do it.
It's like I'm gonna act out the Wicker Man in all of Nick Cage's retarded glory.
No.
Not the bees.
Now
Not the bees.
Now I'm just not going to East Texas. Like, I've been up there a few times, usually it's family stuff, like a funeral, and I was like, this seems about right.
I've never stopped. I passed through.
You never? Oh,
do you speed up? Because I do.
I think I may have told this story in the podcast before, but we were coming back from Louisiana, or coming back from Tennessee, and stopped in the middle of somewhere in Louisiana. I have no idea where we were because I was asleep at the time. Woke up, we were at a gas station, didn't see any other lights in the sky around for it's the blackest I've ever seen the sky. And it's this one gas station. And I'm walking in, and I go to use the bathroom, and as I open the door, it's one of the swinging doors, I hit this person on the other side of the door so hard. I had to go to the bathroom for like 2 states. Mm-hmm. So I hit this dude in the face so incredibly hard, like you immediately feel the crunch of something fleshy backed up by something that should have provided enough structure to resist, but it failed. And I open the door, I'm like, holy crap, dude, are you okay? And this is the response I get. I'm like, I hit this guy hard. This is what I'm thinking, like, I just knocked this guy stupid. This is definitely a concussion.
No, that's how he sounds. I've talked to those guys on oil rigs.
Yeah. Well, yeah. It didn't process because, like, you think, like, this guy's special. Like, I hit this guy hard, and this is the result. But I go in the bathroom, and the door, as soon as the door closes behind me, I sort of take stock about what's going on in the bathroom. The urinal.
Are you like Born Identity, the bathroom? Like, what's going on?
Yeah,
figure
like
out every little thing.
Yeah,
like that stall he ate a burrito, and that stall.
Yeah, I'm in much better shape now. I'm in much better shape now than I was back then. Mm-hmm. But even still, it's like there was no situation where I'm going to run half a mile before my hands start shaking. That's not going to happen. All I know is it's a long walk back to the truck, and probably no one else has their head on a swivel about what's going on. Kenneth's probably still getting dressed. By the way, little tip, Kenneth, who was on our Tapcast a few episodes ago, many, like a couple months ago, this dude takes off all of his clothes except for underwear on a road trip. Like it's a rule. I had never taken a road trip with him before, even though I've known him the majority of my life. And we're about to get into the vehicle. We're leaving like late at night so we can avoid traffic on the 25-hour drive up there. Mm-hmm. And he just he like takes off his shirt, starts untying his shoes, starts taking his pants off. I'm like, bro, what's up? And he's like, dude, road trip. He's like it's supposed to be a no thing. Like, dude, road trip. I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? He's like, you never took a road trip in your drawers? Like, this is like It's the best thing ever.
So the entire road trip, he's just sitting there and
In tidy whities. In tidy whities. The entire road trip.
why?
With his shirt tied around his head.
What kind of drugs was he on?
It's Kenneth.
Yeah. See, the only thing that I see okay is something similar. That I have a friend that he'll go to like a concert outside of town or something like that.
Yeah.
With a female. And they do the slug bug, but he's not going to hit a girl, so they do it with articles of clothing. So whenever you call it out first, they have to take an article of clothing off.
Okay, so strip slug bug.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. That's okay. If I'm going on a road trip with you and you strip down, you're going to be standing on the side of the road with underwear on, and I'm going to be laughing as one item every mile drops out, just so walk of shame.
Yeah, but it's like we're so I clock this guy in the face, and I look as soon as the door closes behind me, the door swings out of the way, and I can see the urinal. The urinal's covered with blood. And immediately I take notice about what's on the lip of the urinal. I was like, that's a tooth. There's a tooth on like the lip of the urinal. Your doorbell just rang.
It did just ring.
That's
Okay.
Who's there?
You have minions, right?
Yeah.
You have at least one minion
There's
to...
someone down there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let me check the camera.
Okay. But anyway, so I take stock. There's blood everywhere. There's a tooth on the urinal. And I start doing the math really quickly. I can't open the door without touching it. Like, it only swings one way. So I'm like, oh, crap. So I
That's when you
use...
sacrifice a shirt and throw that shirt away. Just use it and
burn
get rid of it.
Just burn
there's
it.
no toilet paper, no paper towels.
There's nothing of cloth anywhere in the bathroom, like cardboard, nothing. It's all gone. So I use the bathroom. About that time, like I'm trying to sort out this dilemma because I wash my hands a lot. And about that time, Kenneth walks in the door, and I'm like, "Don't let the door close!" And I stick my foot in it really quick. He's like, "What? Why?" And I was like, "You'll see." And he turns the corner, he's like, "Oh." He's like, "What does he do?" I think he peed on the tooth. Just to even the scales a little bit.
It's actually a listener that made that noise.
Okay.
Yeah.
So anyway, we leave, we walk up to the counter, and the counter looks really, really sketchy. Like the guy's eyeballing us in a weird way, the guy behind the counter, and no one's talking. So we're like really confused. And the people that are in line at the counter don't have any items in their hands.
So either lottery tickets or cigarettes.
So this lady who looks cracked out of her gourd gets to the counter. She's next in line, gets up there, and the guy doesn't address her. She doesn't say anything in response to this. She just keeps standing there while the guy's eyeballing the two of us. And I'm like, oh, this is bad. Like, we both grew up in like sort of sketchy neighborhoods, and I'm surprised Kenneth didn't recognize this first, or he may have recognized it first. It's been a while. He probably did. But it was like, this is a weird situation, but Kenneth's kind of the one that's going to like take advantage of it for just the purposes of humor. I don't like getting shot at. Me personally, I don't like getting shot at, and I certainly don't feel like, going through some Children of the Corn crap in the middle of nowhere.
That would be more Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre, yeah, it's something along those lines. Louisiana Can Opener Massacre, something like that.
Well, you're right in the East Texas,
I hope that's a real thing.
Louisiana Can Opener
I
Massacre.
want to see that movie.
I just made another movie.
Like, it starts off, the electric can opener, just,
yeah.
and then a guy with an extension cord.
He goes chasing. He goes chasing the damsel down the hallway, and it comes unplugged. He's like, "Damn it!"
You can have like a Black and Decker battery pack for the.
A Ryobi.
So
a Ryobi can opener.
It would be like Garcia in Louisiana terrorizing people with an electric can opener, and he's rigged it up with a portable battery.
Yes.
So okay, yes. So we get to the counter. This whole weird situation is going off, and finally he looks down at the lady. Doesn't say anything to her. She goes, "I'll take the red and the black and the black and the green." So we're like, curious. What's going to happen here? And we just see him like I don't see him retrieve anything from anywhere. He just slides something across the counter to her. She doesn't pay him money. There's no card swipe. There's nothing. She just takes whatever he slid to her, and he never breaks eye contact with us. Slides something over to her. She goes out. She leaves. The guy that's behind her, same situation, although I couldn't hear what he said. And we get up to the front. We've got
Probably
drinks in
said
hand.
double rainbow.
Something like that. He tastes the rainbow, be the rainbow. But we get to the front of the line, we buy our drinks, we walk out, and as we walk out of the store, like the entire parking lot's eyeballing us. I'm like, okay, this is strange. And I get to the truck and I'm like, we should go. We should probably go. We should probably get in the truck right now and just go. We have more than enough gas to get wherever the next gas station is. We should leave this situation right now. And Kenneth's cousin is just kind of like dopey as everything. Like, no, man, these are locals, man. You just got to get along. He's a trucker, right? So he's just like, you got to communicate with the locals. It's like, dude, it's like 2 a.m. No one wants to communicate with you right now. There's something weird going on. I probably just knocked this dude out and he lost a tooth because of me. I don't know what's happening right now. We got to go.
It was on the toilet.
It was on the toilet. I hit him hard. I hit him with the door hard. You don't understand. Like, I was on a mission. I was trucking at full steam.
So far from what I hear is you hit a guy, you knocked his tooth out. While you were like going inside, is they took the tooth and put it on the seat, so you knew something was coming.
No, like, I'm thinking more of like, I hit him hard enough. It arced. I Kobe'd it to the urinal.
How'd it open the door?
Huh?
How would it open the door?
How would what open the door?
The tooth didn't open the door.
The tooth didn't open the door. I hit him while he was in the bathroom.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So with the way the door swung open, it swung towards the urinal. I don't know the math. I'm not a ballistics expert, especially tooth ballistics. This is just how it went down.
Just figure it out.
This is just the portion I'm painting in my head. It's 2 a.m. We're in the middle of nowhere. I don't know where I am. I can't make a phone call, say someone come and get me. It's like 6 hours away. So it's perilous. It's a perilous situation. As I'm sort of like feeling the panic, there's some dudes walking towards the truck. I'm like, this is not a good situation. We should probably get in to go. And Lane jumps in the truck, starts it up, and Kenneth starts a strip down routine. And his reply, like, freaking road trip rules, man. Like, you can take your pants off when you're in the truck. Get in the truck. Let's go. So we left. We survived. And on the way back, we hit a pterodactyl somehow. There was a dragonfly that was the size of a freaking... It looked like a bird. It was like the size of a bird.
I've only hit a bird once.
Kenneth was hanging out of the window in his underwear, tidy whities, taking pictures with his Canon. And about that time, we just hear this like thunk, like really loud. We're like, what the hell was that? We thought we hit a bird. And it went inside the truck. And there's blankets on the back seat because, like, you know, it's a road trip, 25 hours. People are taking naps. And Ken starts digging around. He's like, oh, man, I think it went in here somewhere. And immediately starts freaking the hell out because he pulls up this thing by his wing. He's like, holy crap, we killed this giant skeeter-dactyl. And about that time, it woke up. It's like people who hit a deer and put it in the back seat. And it wakes up. Tommy Boy. Mm-hmm. And about this time, this thing's like...
I know, that was Tommy Boy, not Black Sheep. It's Tommy Boy.
Yeah, it was Tommy Boy. But it wakes up when he's holding it up by the wing. He freaks the hell out, flings it out the window. There's all sorts of chaos and everything. But yeah, interesting road trip. Very interesting road trip.
And whose truck were you in?
We were in his cousin's truck.
Okay. See, if it was your truck, I would expect you to be like, put your damn clothes back on.
I wouldn't be in the back seat if it was my truck. True.
Yeah. We should go on a road trip in your truck. I want to try something out.
Dude. If you're going to strip down, I don't want to be downwind when you crack the seals on whatever fold you may have.
Tidy Whitey's in a GoPro.
Just no. Anyway, so that's enough of that story. We were talking about The Flash. Has it started yet?
Yeah. I watched the first episode last night. It aired on Tuesday, I think.
Yeah, I haven't seen it yet.
I'm still catching up on season 1. I'm still only about maybe a third of the way through.
It gets better.
Yeah. That's the best endorsement for the show. It gets better.
So, just to give you hope, like, season 2 shows some promise, but it wasn't, the finale or the premiere was not as good as the Arrow premiere.
Yeah, the Arrow was a very interesting feel.
Yeah, I have a feeling I'm not going to be watching after this season.
Really? You think it's going to be that bad?
No. It's who they're spoilers, who they're getting rid of.
All right, so spoilers. Spoiler alert. Spoilers. We're going to talk about the show. Spoilers. I just feel like it's a good thing to do to give fair warning. That
if
we're
you
going to talk
haven't
about.
Watched it, skip to.
I'm not going to edit in the time.
Yeah.
So just gamble. Spin the wheel wherever you land. If it's spoiled for you,
we can do a visual cue.
I
will move this cup away when the spoilers are.
If you're listening in the car,
sorry, it sucks to be you.
Should have bought the Tesla with the 11-inch touchscreen.
And don't wreck.
Yeah, and don't wreck
while you're trying to watch that cup.
But anyway, so this first episode of Arrow for this season, started off in a really weird, really strange way.
Yeah.
It basically Dooface McFella Arrow, Oliver Queen, and Felicity are in the suburbs, and they're sort of, it looks like your typical suburban house.
Mr. and Mrs. Smith, pretty much.
Sort of a Dean season, what was it, 6 or 7 on Supernatural?
Yeah, when he was at that Hooja Mamas.
Yeah, I don't know if you follow Supernatural, but it was very similar. It was like everything's over. I think they thought they were going to be canceled, so they wrapped everything up, and he was doing a whole suburban thing too.
Yeah. But it was just like Weeds, like the whole suburban life. Little houses by the
Ticky-tacky.
Ticky-tacky, the most annoying freaking starting theme music ever.
It was different every time. That's what was so good
That was
about
cool.
it.
I don't think they started changing it up until like season 2.
Nope, always.
No, the season 1s, I think they started right off the bat.
Yeah.
Different people.
Huh.
Yeah, because like midway through season 1, I was like, all right, I kind of don't care that there's new ones anymore. And then they did like it's not like dubstep, but they did like a jazzy one, I guess is the best way.
Jazzy one?
They were like, yeah, it was a little upbeat, and I was like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Like, that's different.
Yeah,
it's got a beat, still
the
annoying.
Bob Dylan on heroin.
Tacky, but
so they're living in suburban splendor, and it's way too
they have
way
those
too sweet.
crazy annoying friends.
It's
that,
way
like,
too sweet. It's like a dude that like spent a good majority of his life killing folk. Doesn't suddenly turn around and start baking quiche. You know?
And what's up with like him being a master chef? Like,
yeah, just a master chef.
Apparently, he's like, oh, I used to cook things on a fire on an island, and I only had one plant.
Yeah,
I can do anything now.
Like, what was the time jump? It was like 6 months.
6 months,
something like that.
Yes, 4 to 6 months.
Yeah. Like, it just felt a little absurd, but still, it's like I'm gonna follow it just because. And then they have to go back to the city because shenanigans are happening, and all of a sudden, the group can't hold it down anymore.
And then he's interrupted multiple times trying to propose.
Yeah, we got that coming too.
Like,
so
yeah. I still don't understand why he put it in the place that he put it.
You mean at the end?
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's like, I'm gonna put it in a candy jar. Happy surprise!
It's kind of like in a very
that wasn't a candy jar. That's a sort of an ornamental bowl with
a bunch of marbles in it.
Oh, I thought those were old people hard candies.
Nah.
Like,
which suspiciously look like the good Walter White meth, just in spherical form.
Yeah.
They kind of had that glowing blue look to them.
But yeah, I mean, it was a weird start, and then like his sister and his ex-girlfriend showing up. Just like, oh, we should have called.
Yeah, like,
no,
we should have called.
There's technology. Like, text me. Hey, you should come back. Shit's going down.
Yeah.
Like, that's how it works in the real world. If I'm here and the zombie apocalypse happens and I got the C4 on the stairs so I can trap them downstairs and I got the arsenal up here, I'm going to be like, I can't shoot all these guns. Come to my house, have food, and whatever.
That's the zombie apocalypse mass text.
Like, that's
from Kyle.
I'm looking for it.
You have like 6 hours before the stairwell blows, right? And that way, like, I can just see it now. Everyone's coming up, and then there's just like one lone survivor, Garcia, trying to make it up, and he falls asleep, and I'm just like, I'm blowing it, man, I'm blowing it. The stairs blow, and we're just up there with the shotguns, and we're like, well, at least we have food for an extra month.
Yeah, I had a weird dream one night that the zombie apocalypse happened, and I was at my old house, and there was a guy, a extremely annoying guy that I worked with a couple of jobs ago, and I don't know the weird things that happens in the sequence of events of a dream. He decides he's going to open the front door as the wave of zombies is coming, so my grandpa, without hesitating, he's like, dumbass, and kicks him in the back and just shoves him out the door. That's what I would do. And closes and locks the door behind him. My great grandma was like, well, this is how this is the exact sequence of events in the dream. Like, just a calamity of what the hell is happening. My great grandma's in the back, and she's just shaking a chicken by the neck. He's like, this is how I used to prepare chicken when I was a girl. Wringing the neck of a chicken, about to make a chicken roast as the wave of zombies is coming. He jumps into I want to say it was Kenneth's Buick that he had when we were in like high school, and he jumps in that car, starts taking off and driving circles around in a circle, and all of a sudden all the zombies are distracted and just sort of like spinning around in the middle of this whole thing. And about that time, a pool materializes in our front yard, and he just beefs the car into the pool. The car's starting to go down. He perches up on the roof, and there's like he fires off 2 shells from the shotgun. There's no more shells in the shotgun, and my grandpa goes, "Ha! I'm not gonna waste ammunition on you." It's the dumbest series of events. And then his face gets eaten off by a whole swarm of zombies. The zombies are satisfied. They leave. No more zombie apocalypse because they ate the annoying dude from work. Wow. And I woke up, and it was only 2 hours into that night. I'm like, this is going to be a fun night.
You don't even drink.
I don't even drink. I don't even drink. But there's certain times where I'll have like this weird sequence of dreams where I have this extremely elaborate what the hell dream, and I've only been asleep for 45 minutes. And that's when I know tonight's going to be a ride, because I'm going to have like at least 8 of those.
See, like I don't remember my dreams, but I do remembering them for a short period of time, which is really annoying.
Yeah.
So like it'll be like a weekend or vacation or whatever, and I'll have like a really good dream, and like I'll wake up and be like, no, not over. So I go back to sleep, right? And then when I finally wake up, I'm just like, what the fuck was I dreaming about? Like, I know it was the most amazing story.
Yeah.
But all I can remember is that I had it, not what it was.
If you start trying to take notes, if you like get a recorder and talk into it, or
then I'm going to sleep talking.
Well, but then you'll start to remember your dreams better as well.
Then I'll also creep people out when I sleep and they're around.
Yeah, one of the best mechanisms that I've learned to remember, because like there are certain times where I'll come up with like an interesting joke or an interesting like a story idea or something like that. It just comes to you in your dream. One of the interesting methods to remember that is don't start thinking in terms of words and numbers. Start thinking in terms of like pictures. Start thinking about images from that dream, because the moment you start thinking about words and numbers, it's almost like a computer. Like there's different processes that shut off during sleep in your brain, and one of them is the ability to process like words and numbers, the ability to read or recall those things. So the moment you start thinking about that, like if you wake up in the middle of the night and if you start thinking about like in terms of words, it's kind of difficult to describe. But if you continue to think about like colors or images, then that part of your brain won't get reactivated, and it's easier to go back to sleep for one thing, and it's also easier to remember like crazy stuff you just woke up with from a dream. Because the words and numbers processing sort of takes precedent. It'll take focus away from that other part of your brain that was processing the dream.
Okay, I want to try that. But speaking of zombies and Garcia,
yes,
we had a joint experience with him. He met us at a crack house for a comedy show.
Yeah,
and I don't remember which comic it was. It was one of the headliners.
It was Biggerstaff.
Yeah.
Bob Biggerstaff.
So this, I guess, is for you because we were both there. So he sees Garcia on the front row, and he's like, "Do you think you would survive during the Holocaust?" And he's like, "Yeah." It's like, why?
Specifically, the zombie Holocaust.
Yeah.
The zombie Holocaust.
Yeah, zombie Holocaust. And he goes, yeah, because I'd fall asleep. He's like, "Oh, why is that going to happen?" He's like, "Because I'm narcoleptic." And he's like, "All right, so you ruined it." Like.
No. The funny thing is that Bob Biggerstaff on stage didn't hear anything Garcia said. He didn't actually hear what he said. So he's like, he basically pointed. He's like looking in the audience. He's like, you big guys up front, because we were all like in the front row.
I was in the back.
Yeah, you got to see in the back. But he's like, you think any of you guys would survive the zombie apocalypse? And Garcia says yes. Biggerstaff didn't really hear what he said. He thought he said maybe no or something like that. And he's like, "Oh, why do you?" Or he may have heard yes. So he's like, "Why would you? Why do you think you would survive?" And Garcia goes, "I'd be asleep." And I think he thought he said he'll be a sheep or something like that. And there was like this really off this ramble, and the audience heard what Garcia said, and they're all dying laughing for that reason, and Biggerstaff is just going on this tangent about explaining why something about being a sheep or following the crowd or something like that will keep you alive and all this other stuff. And Garcia just goes, "No, I'm narcoleptic." And it's just like completely derailed, and the audience is like dying laughing. And finally he hears narcoleptic, but from the stage he's not able to put the two together. Like, you're a narcoleptic sheep. Like, he just can't process why it happened.
It was already an odd experience because like I'm meeting them there. I think, do me and you ride together?
Yes.
Yeah, we met up there, and then because they're on the south side anyway, so we meet there, and like we come up to this house, that like it's been abandoned for a while.
For everybody that's curious why, it's the Beta Theater. Some really awesome comedy shows going on there right now. I think they're doing stuff just about every night of the week
At that place.
The
Crack House.
I believe it's the same
with
place.
the broken stuff and like the cat thing in the corner.
Yes, I'm pretty sure it's the same thing, but I'll look it up.
Like 50% of the people that went there have a staph infection now.
Probably not, no, because I mean it eventually gets cleaned up, bro.
It was bad. Like I guess that was the first time, but like it was a guy at the front.
We went to the very first show they had there.
Well, because like no one really knew if we were even supposed to be there. Like that's kind of like
there
the
was
shady. There's a guy.
like-
There's a guy that looks kind of homeless at the front with a broken iPhone and a PayPal stick, right? And you're just like, this is what the hell? And you walk in and there's like chairs and then like nails hanging out of boards and like a cat thing in the corner and a weird art over here that's not hanging but it has urine on it.
Yeah, that's the spot, or at least that's the spot that shows up on Google Maps. So it's 2420 Pierce Street. Awesome group. I mean, it
was funny as hell. But I felt dirty.
Like the best comics in the Houston scene right now are performing there, and it's a really cool show to go see. They also do improv shows there. That's kind of like their staple for that place.
So is that like them like their grand opening, and they're just trying to get like it cleaned up a little bit, or have you been there since?
I haven't been there since.
Okay,
but I know they do a lot of stuff there.
Okay, I might have to check it out because that was just
Zach performs there like on a regular basis.
Breaks the stage every time.
Yeah.
That's how good he is. Drop the mic, drop the stage.
So yeah, anyway, awesome show. Really, really interesting. I mean, if you want to go see comedy, you got to go to an actual comedy club. Spots like the Improv or like a coffee house or a bar, those aren't spots to go see good stand up. Or it's not the right environment to really feel like it's good. You got to cram people in, make them feel uncomfortable. The ceiling's got to be low, it's got to be dark, it's got to be seedy. It's got to feel fucking weird.
That felt weird.
And then that's where good comedy. For some reason, those kind of spots generate excellent comedy.
Like I've never made myself so thin so I could touch less air. Like I was just like, yeah, that's a lot of touching the air.
But a lot of people that go to these stand-up shows, they don't know why they're going there. You know, I go to the Improv and I see the same thing. Like when I went to go see Bobcat, over half the people there genuinely didn't seem like they had any clue that Bobcat Goldthwait did comedy. Like they're just like, hey, it's that guy that directs those movies and stuff. Like I think they were thinking it was going to be like an evening with Kevin Smith or something like that. And he starts going into his routine, and people are like really confused because for one, like Bobcat's a really dirty comic. Mm-hmm. You know, that's his style, and the stories and the things that he tells are generally pretty filthy. I mean, he does them in an interesting way that's not like outright, you know, damn, it's good. You know, it's not just in your face or whatever. It's actually really intelligent, but people have no idea what they're about to encounter. He gets past his first opening 5, and people just seem confused. And he keeps telling stories, you know, throughout the night, and keeps telling jokes and he goes back and forth between stories and material. And there's like scattered laughs, and people sort of try to get into it. But the 2 opening comics, like people were kind of like, I don't know. Like, I mean, one of the guys that opened, he's a Houston regular, and excellent set, unbelievably good set. And people started laughing, and then the second comic was just kind of like, it was dirtier. Mm-hmm. Like it was way, way, way dirtier. And as a preparation for Bobcat to come on stage, I don't think people understood that, like, this is the tone of the evening. Welcome to it. So it was an odd hour, and I felt kind of bad for him because like half the Improv was closed off like they normally have for open mics. Mm-hmm. Like they have a curtain that comes down halfway through the house, and even the forward section of the house it still had available seats. So for Bobcat, on a late night Saturday show,
no kidding,
was very strange feeling.
Wish I would have thought about that. I could have gone. I thought it was sold out.
I thought so too.
I would have assumed.
I thought so too.
I assumed when you got your tickets, and I found out a couple weeks later, I was like, this sucks.
I think that was a week I was still working though. I'm going to say that just.
Yeah.
So I'm going to do another Twitter, and then we need to go back to the arrow because I want to finish.
Yeah. We'll do the arrow.
So at Tom Cruisin wants to know if the podcast is gluten free.
Right now, no, because oats are on the table.
No,
and there's beer.
It's a twisted pretzel wheat.
Yeah,
It's definitely not gluten free.
I was supposed to move.
I'll move the cup now.
Well, no, because
we're not done.
Yeah,
so
we're gonna go back to
yeah.
it. So
we should have moved the cup and then moved it back. Just
if you fast forwarded, expecting to miss Arrow spoilers, guess what? We screwed you. We're playing Minesweeper with the episode. Bounce around, feel it out. Who knows?
They're still going to be listening though because the cup hasn't moved.
The cup hasn't moved, so
we'll have to say that again when the cup moves. That you might want to rewind to. We need another visual cue. Move the cup and then move it back. That way they can look for that.
We're going to do like the speed loop where the bag disappears and the bag suddenly comes back. Shoot the hostage. Shoot the hostage.
So Arrow,
yes.
They're like the beginning. I get you, it was awkward. I felt the same thing. I was even cooking dinner. I just watched it right before because I didn't have a chance yesterday because screw Hulu. They're like, oh, we're gonna have the Arrow, and then I'm like, cool, Arrow's done. It's been 2 hours. Where are you at? Nope.
If it ever gets to a point where podcasts are syndicated on Hulu, we just sabotaged our ride.
Don't care.
By that time, there'll be a.
That's how much I hate them. Like I would. It would no longer be fun for me, and I wouldn't be doing it.
If we get to like a Demolition Man semi-utopia future where everything is like Taco Bell, everything is Hulu.
Oh wow, that would suck.
Yeah.
We'll just delete this episode from the internet. It's easy.
You ruined our deal with Hulu, and you ruined our deal with the 3 seashells. Thank you very much.
It is so easy to delete an episode from the internet.
Yeah.
Well, the internet's forever. Mm-hmm. Someone's going to hack Garcia's server, and they're going to steal the 14 copies that he has.
He's our only listener. So it was awkward at the beginning. Then he comes back, and sadly, like Mike and I both forgot. Yeah. What he did to Diggle. Because Diggle's all pissed off, and I'm like,
I forgot too.
Why are you pissed off at your homie? Because I'm like, I assume, he did that as Ra's al Ghul. He didn't do that as your friend Oliver.
Yeah.
So like,
I kind of
he's bipolar. You can't fault the man for that, right? Yeah, I forgot. So that was going on. So I was like, oh great, boy drama. I don't like this. But then it got a little bit better because I like the new suit.
Yeah, the new suit, the costume changes have become kind of like a thing to expect. Mm-hmm. You're always going to get like a new suit as the seasons go on.
Do y'all want a spoiler for Flash?
Well, I knew there was. I mean, it's been in the trailers.
Have you seen it?
I think so.
They go with the old logo.
Okay.
Like it's.
Is it got? You mean white in the center?
Yeah, I like it. So anyway, so there's that, right? And then I want to know more about this Damien. What's the
Damien
villain?
Dark?
Yeah, I want to know more about his backstory. Like all I know is Ra's al Ghul is like, I don't like him, and
you can imagine
I don't like him, and he's got people that do things when he tells them to. Yeah, and like that's what we knew. And then he's all
my
like,
thing. I've got people.
Yeah, he's got people, and then he's all like, I'm going to take your soul, and just it's like, what the fuck.
I like the idea of Ra's al Ghul going like, yeah, by the way, look out for this dude because he's kind of a douche. Just have like this really off the cuff conversation about it, like,
he just we didn't mesh. He liked mornings, I liked evenings. It just didn't work. We weren't good friends.
It just all of a sudden it gets
we could only hang out for brunch.
It gets really homey. Like he has like the homey conversation with him. It's like, dude, I got a pull that can make you live forever, but this motherfucker.
So I don't like that part of it right now. It's like he's a metahuman, but he's not a metahuman because Oliver has seen things, but doesn't want to tell us yet.
Yeah, it's sort of like the hacking because plot twist, or plot hole. It feels kind of a gimmicky setup for the theme of the season.
Yeah, and then I hate that I've always enjoyed up to this point them going back to like his past and how it helps him currently.
Yeah, the time jumps.
He's back on the damn island.
Yeah. At this point, it's played out.
Why can't there be like another ship that he's on or back in Asia? Like he hasn't been to Africa yet. Let's go there. How about London, Amsterdam? Like
Madagascar.
There's places.
I like Madagascar.
Greenland, Switzerland.
The episode where they sent him to Starling City,
Canada,
and he had to stay away from everyone that he knew.
Like I think next season, I'm already calling it. Next season, he's gonna be like ultra sneaky, and it's gonna flash back to him in Canada, and he couldn't be caught. Like
he just, it's the Arrow.
Like, the Mounties can't catch me.
He goes to Russia. He's like, just chill with Snowden and them.
We saw the Russian part, but he wasn't in Russia for that long. Mm-hmm. Not long enough to get all those tats and get all that cred.
Yeah, there's.
The thing about Russia was the guy on the boat.
Yeah, I mean,
he didn't him. He had the cred because of that guy, not because of anything else. It's like,
but still,
it's like me going, no, this guy's legit. And because I have that, they're like, okay, you can transfer like 25%. Yeah,
it feels really disjointed, especially the time jumps that took place in this first episode.
Yeah,
because you're kind of all over the map.
Like you go future, past, and
it's all within like a very small span of time. And the way the episode ends, I mean, we're talking about the first episode. There's not really going to be a whole lot of spoilers because it is the first episode for the rest of the season. We got like 22 to 24 more to go.
Yeah,
but it ends with Oliver standing in front of a grave. They don't show who's in the grave. Flash shows up and he's like, "Bruh, sorry, I missed the funeral." And Oliver's like, "Tear." And
but you understand why it was the Flash?
The way, so we're gonna take some bets and possibly see who we think is in the grave. The way it was way too cheesy and way too over the top. It's got to be Felicity.
Yeah, that's the. You know how they're telling you it's Felicity? The Flash. Felicity and Flash had a relationship.
Yeah.
So he's like, dude, sorry I missed it. I mean, I'm kind of late. The bus got, in traffic.
I wouldn't think he would miss it because of that reason. I don't think the Flash would miss it.
Yeah, there's going to be. It's tied to something that's happening in the Flash. Like it's going to be.
Yeah, there's going to be like a weird crossover kind of thing.
I was saving the world from a giant spaceship that was landing in my city. It's gonna be something like that. He's like, I had to run around in circles to make it go back up into orbit.
Independence Day 2 was filming. Will Smith's kind of an ass. I welcomed him. He welcomed me to Earth. I welcomed him to Fast.
So I mean, they're going to tie that together. So we can expect the season finales being joined in one way or another. That's my prediction on that. And it's Felicity, which means I have no reason to watch the next episode.
But you also have the
new one,
the buddy, the Super Friends crap that's happening with all.
And they're going to tie in.
It's all going to cross over.
No, because
you don't think they're going to cross over? I'm pretty sure they're going to cross over.
Cross over what?
In some episodes.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah,
definitely.
But the histories are now linked,
and they are definitely time travelers, aren't they?
Who?
The new Super Friends.
Whoever they are, the freaking Canary
I don't know
and
much
all them other ones, and Dude Face McFella.
No, because I remember when we. Oh, you weren't at the Q&A. In the Q&A,
no, I wasn't.
Yeah, the Q&A with Amy Pond. What's her name? Gillian Anderson and. But I can't.
Legends of Tomorrow.
Yeah, I can't remember his name.
Europe guy.
Yeah.
Europe guy.
Mr. Gillian Anderson. Anyway, he was commenting on how he's in another time traveling position. So he's a time traveler in that.
And I don't like it as much as I hate.
He's got a weird suit.
As much as I hate tropes and artificial means to get out of plot holes, time travel is one of the things I loathe the most.
Yeah.
See, if they do it right, like Stargate did it right. It was very rare, and they had a very good explanation. Solar flare. I mean, like that wormhole, solar flare makes sense.
Yeah, but as a core component to delete all of your storytelling mistakes.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
See, they didn't use it for that.
If and that's primarily what other shows use those time travel mechanisms for. It's like,
they show up out of nowhere. They're like, wait, if I run backwards really fast.
Yeah, but it's like we've written ourselves into a corner, and we're not intelligent enough to think our way, or talented enough to write a good story based on the stuff that we have now. Let's just delete this entire timeline and start over.
Or part of it's executives change their mind. We're going another season, but we can't do it without this cast member.
Yeah, and it's a horrendous storytelling mechanic.
Yeah. But I mean, if they use time travel, if there's some weird intertwined thing, and time travel brings back Felicity, I'm gonna be pissed.
Yeah. Which was my prediction.
The other theory is it's either Diggle or Doofface McFella Cop.
Because of his old I'm evil, right?
Yeah, because that was like a weird little turn.
He wouldn't care as much unless something happens.
Yeah, he's been forced.
Well, he's not. No, it looks like he was like, I'm in for this, but he didn't know what he was getting into.
Yeah.
So I think he's eventually, like mid-season, he's going to go to the Arrow or the Green Arrow. I'm sorry, and be like, all right, man, I was stupid, and I need your help to get out of this. Can you pretend to kill me, and then I'll run away? Or like, how does this work? Like, do we roll the wheel? Like, let's pick one of the normal ones, right? So that's going to happen. And the only other possibility is if anyone's right saying it's the Captain Cop guy. is they have some kind of connection because of something that happened. So maybe someone else, like his daughter, dies in the middle. Again.
Nah, that's
Like-
not going to happen.
But that's
Yeah, we've already brought her back from the dead
Wait,
twice.
We do
you
know that his other daughter comes back in for the new series.
Yeah, as the White Canary for
so
Legends.
That can
yeah.
really.
So that's what I'm saying, is that there may be something like that to where they want us to think it's Felicity, but it's really someone that he gets close to in 10 episodes.
Yeah, but I mean, of
Like-
all the characters that you could ditch, and of all of the actors on the show that you think might get a better deal, I think she actually has the Emily Brett Rickards. I think she actually has quite a bit lined up projects wise, or maybe not, maybe nothing. There's I guess a voice acting role called Axis. Okay, so maybe I'm thinking of the wrong one.
Yeah.
That's usually when I see that they're gonna like kill off somebody.
Yeah, you can look in.
I start looking at IMDb to see what other.
That's
roles
immediately
they have
what he was
going
doing. And I'm just like, yeah, but at the same time, there's a lot of them that are on multiple shows. So, well, they have done that
Yeah,
for a few seasons.
we can do the math. So, Katie Cassidy, 2 projects coming up. David Ramsey, who plays Diggle. So it looks like he's going to be John Diggle in the Legends of Tomorrow show. So there's that.
So it's not him. Unless he dies, but that's an empty grave. He didn't really die. He time traveled to another area, and that's why he's on that
Very
show.
possible.
Yeah, Willa Holland, who plays Thea, only has one project. And it's already wrapped. So that's done.
Yeah, she's starting new movies now.
She did movies before.
Yeah, I guess so. I just never saw those.
And then you have Paul Blackthorne, who plays Detective Lance, who will be in Dark Ascension and Dark Ascension 2. That sounds like either a game. What is that?
It's a game.
Is it a game?
I'm pretty sure.
No, it looks like a movie. Director Gene Falaise.
I'm pretty sure it's been a game.
The gates of heaven and hell have been broken, and the afterlife is in ruins. One group of new arrivals must find a way to put things right to prevent an eternal battle between good and evil. And both of these are in pre-production, so it's already in pre-production for the first and second installment of that movie.
Yeah, it's also a game.
Yeah, the movie based on the game.
Probably.
It's actually Wizards of the Coast.
The dude playing the dude disguised as the other dude.
Which,
So
by the way,
that's
is
the
that
cast. That's pretty much the core cast of Arrow right there.
Is Dark Ascension a Magic release from back in the day?
I think there was one of the first expansions was called the Dark.
Because yeah, there's Dark Ascension Magic.
That was like the
stuff.
second or third expansion ever. But those are the only ones I know.
Interesting.
So yeah, it looks like core cast. That's all I'm really seeing. So I don't know. I guess the normal IMDb go see what they got lined up doesn't really work here.
Yeah, but like I said, I think that it's, for me, it's obvious. It could be too obvious that it's Felicity.
Unless it's a character from Legends of Tomorrow. It could be one of them.
Yeah, but
no, because then the entire team would be there.
I don't know.
I mean, that's
they're setting it
unless
as
it's
Felicity.
his fault.
They're setting it up as Felicity, but he wasn't that upset about it. I mean, he was.
Yeah, you'd
upset.
think he'd be a little more.
Well, maybe they had broken up because he got too dark because he's worried about going back dark and can't be happy.
We got a whole season to figure it out.
Yep.
That like this is all
Yeah,
6
but-
months in the future, and we'll see.
Yeah, but that's what pisses me off is because they did all this and it's just like I have all the stories that are running in my head suck. Like I'm just like I don't look forward to this season currently. Like I've loved it up to this point, and now I'm thinking this can either be like next episode it could change completely. I could be like, all right, it's not going anywhere where I thought it was. This seems interesting. It could pull me in, but there's a lot in this episode that was just like I don't like where this is going. Like
So let's
it
take
was
a look.
fine until that last part.
Let's take a look at the trailer. We'll see if we can wean some stuff off of this.
All right.
The arrow's dead.
Little house.
Maybe he's in the grave.
Be that person even if I wanted to be.
He's the dude playing the arrow from the other dude.
And I don't want to be.
He's wearing green.
Oliver walked away.
The ghosts, they're like nothing we'd ever seen before. Well trained, well armed. We need the arrow.
And this is all these scenes are from episode 1.
Yeah.
Except for that.
Whoa, go back.
That's
That looked like
Constantine.
Oh, you don't know who I am, do you?
so like that right there.
I'm
That-
Damien Dark. So you're all fretting about this city dying. I'm here on behalf of an organization that wants you to.
That wasn't in the first episode. That's Constantine. So,
but Constantine's Marvel, isn't he?
No, DC.
Oh, okay.
Discipline.
So the Constantine he knows Constantine from the past.
Certainly chose.
So that's the mystic stuff he's talking about.
well, wasn't Constantine brought in as the mechanic to bring back the White Canary?
Tonight because you didn't have each other's backs.
I don't know what's happening.
That's what I read.
It is not in my job description.
When people go in the pit, they don't come out the same.
It could be his sister too, because she looks like she wants to kill people.
Yeah, she goes off the rails a bit in the first episode.
The arrow.
Red Arrow for a while though.
Yeah,
And then there's your scene for the White Canary. Well, they just showed her coming out of the Lazarus pit.
Well, no,
Since when are you such a badass?
Since always.
I already think that they should have gotten Maz to play that part.
Yeah,
That's in the elevator. But the one thing I noticed is when it showed who I assume is Constantine, it's him young with the little ratty hair and the weird hood thing, so it's his past. So I'm assuming when he talked about I've seen things that they're not metahumans, it's mystical, he's talking about Constantine.
could be.
And I wish Ed was here, but he's helping people with PSAT stuff. Because then I'd be like, tell me about his mystical, and then we'd listen for like an hour and a half.
Well, I mean, it could be many things. So you've already seen Damien Dark. He has some magic spell crap going on.
Mystical.
Like, get down.
I gotta get
Watch
up to
yourself.
get down. I gotta
Mystical?
get up to get.
Really, you don't get the mystical reference?
Try again.
Get down. Watch yourself.
No.
There was a joke. It was a long
Caucasian.
time ago. There was a song, but the joke was like a Jamaican woman misunderstanding the lyrics, like, you know what the mystical says, get down, wash yourself. I think it was in Living Color that did the joke.
See, I didn't watch that too much. I watched it only when like UPN was the only thing that didn't have infomercials.
Yeah. Well, I mean, after 2 a.m., you were kind of screwed anyway.
Yeah.
That void of blackness from 2 a.m. to like 6.
Well, that's why I watched a lot of Martin back in the day, because that was the only thing on. For a
Martin
while.
was awesome, man. I don't care what you say.
Yeah, but it's much better when it's the only thing available too. Like, you appreciate it even more.
So
But,
for
like,
everyone
if you
that
can
wants to check out Martin, they do replay episodes, I think, on both BET and maybe VH1 or MTV, one of the two. But I watch the reruns of those quite a bit.
Is it on your server?
No, it's not.
You have Mama's Family, but not Martin.
Shit, yeah, I got Mama's Family, man.
And Lauren.
Because they don't. Mama's Family right now, as far as I know, is not syndicated anywhere.
There's a reason for that.
Mama's Family's fantastic.
It's really funny.
You'll shut your bastard mouth. Wider.
Don't joke.
Mama's Family is a national treasure. All the Carol Burnett properties are beautiful.
And
hilarious.
It wasn't bad, but I didn't go out of my way to watch it as a kid.
Okay, so are we done with the arrow?
I think we're done with the arrow. You can move the cup. You can move the cup. So,
all right, to mess with people that go way too far, move the cup back in about 15 minutes.
Yeah, we're dealing with it's like Inception. I reference Inception a lot, and I should get away from that.
It was a decent movie.
Yeah,
wasn't exceptionally bad.
Oh, that was the dumbest joke ever.
Yeah, it was an exceptionally bad joke.
Soul crushing how bad that was.
Yes. But it makes me happier, so I don't give a shit.
Yeah, well.
All right, so it looks like you're queuing up Flashy.
Yeah. We can take a look at the Flash trailer too.
Let's do that because it's related. Let's see if there's any. Look for crossover stuff. To Stargate.
Where the hell am I? There isn't just one breach. There's 52 of them.
There's the Iron Giant.
Iron Giant making an appearance. All new. So you don't get much. I mean, it's a teaser.
There's a longer one out there.
Yeah, that's the one that played after Tuesday's episode, I think. So that didn't have much, if any, from the first episode. That's all like later in the season or this coming episode.
Yeah.
So maybe Iron Giant's in episode 2.
I'm not caught up enough on the Flash, so I can't really talk about it.
Season at all yet?
Yeah, I'm only on episode 11 of season 1. I don't really care. Like, spoilers aren't going to hurt anything for me. I'll still watch it.
Yeah.
So it's not that big of a deal to me.
Well, I don't want to give y'all spoilers because then you might not continue to watch it.
No, I mean I'll continue to watch.
Dude, if the show turns into a garbage fire, yes, tell me.
Nah,
because I'll give up on it right now.
It's not a garbage fire, but until the end of the episode, I was not very happy with the episode.
Okay.
Because it was like, and if y'all want like a little quick, my without telling specifics, yeah, okay. So it's like I'm alone, right? That's what the Flash is feeling. There's like, no, don't be alone, don't come back, and then it's like, oh, thanks, let's do this, and then
dude, as fast as he runs, he could go tender in New York, L.A., Miami. Dude, take your pick, man. You could be everywhere.
No, I meant alone in crime fighting. He's like, I can do this all by myself, or like there's no one helping him, and then they're all like, well, no, we need to get him to let us help, and then he's like, why don't they help? It was some weird.
Okay, so even the Flash gets a team.
He's always had one.
A team. I didn't think he had a team of anyone actually out on the field.
No. His team is back at the labs, right?
Yeah.
And then there's the whole premise of this entire episode. One thing happens that sets up the entire. Well, is going to be behind the storyline of the entire season, right?
Yeah.
And the rest of it was all like. It's kind of like a male Ally McBeal right now.
Yeah,
right?
So many shows, dude.
So it's just like drama. Big thing happened. I can't believe this happened that made this happen. And then kind of like drama. Oh, but we're a family again.
Yeah.
We can work as a team.
There's so many shows that we call, or that I call specifically, that are just like fake Ally McBeal melodrama with superheroes.
Actually, this one's more of like a Friends, but a bad episode.
I want a director of one of these shows to J.J. Abrams the dancing baby in the background somewhere. So bad.
This is like an episode of Friends without Joey or Phoebe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That way it's not Ally McBeal. It's Friends without the two funny people.
The only comic relief in the show.
Yeah.
Because the other one, like, I just push. You jump off the balcony, go die.
Yeah. but that one annoying guy that dated Rachel for a while that made Ross even more dopey, he's in it. That's the kind of episode it is.
The only one I remember dating Rachel was the director of Iron Man. What's his name?
Favreau?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't remember that.
He was like the ultra rich boyfriend.
The number of stars that were in that show were freaking ridiculous. Like guest stars.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just everybody who is somebody now. Hell, even Robert Downey Jr. was in Ally McBeal.
I still kind of want to see if one of the 10 channels I get in non-HD, because I only have like that one coax box.
Yeah.
If any of those channels play Friends at night, because I want to see them run really fast across Central Park. Like, since y'all mentioned that, I've never seen it.
That's the new.
Isn't it on Netflix now?
Friends? Yeah, but they don't play it extra fast.
Oh. So this is the gimmick now with shows that are in syndication to maximize, to get more commercial time out of them. They'll speed up certain sections. So I've noticed this for a while now, but like especially on Friends, when they go to like cross the apartment or something like that, when a character walks across and you have that panning shot, they go like supersonic speed. So
they're like the Flash without the trail.
That's gotta be awesome.
Yeah, but it's like weird. It's like 1.2 times speed, so it just seems like really strange. Like, the gait that you have right now is not human. It's like this, like it's kind of like the sort of scary mechanic for House on Haunted Hill when they did the reboot.
Oh yeah,
and you have that like one of my guilty pleasures, man. I love that movie, the reboot. But whenever they would show the CCTV camera footage from wherever, and you have the doctor walk in the frame, he's like, and he does like the really quick head movement and everything like that. That whole it feels very similar to that mechanic.
Yeah, I guess so. Like I said,
I described a whole sequence of things happening with mainly noises.
Yeah,
just
like I said, I want to see it happen. Like next time I'm in a hotel, I'm going to be like looking for Friends and hoping they speed it up.
You might be able to YouTube it.
Yeah, but then it could just be someone else doing it. Like I want to see like what they're actually doing.
You got to venture out, because like no kidding, Friends is syndicated on probably 7 different channels.
Oh yeah.
It's like I have 10 channels that I don't. I don't do cable. Like I stream everything.
Yeah.
Like. Yeah, I don't do TV. I hate commercials.
Yeah, and I mean it's like Nick at Night has it. I think TBS has it.
Like I'm looking at paying $500 more a year in insurance, so I'm not like dealing with Progressive, because I hate Flo, because she ends up on the radio or my on Pandora.
Well,
and like
I've never seen Progressive match or even come close to beating any regular insurance prices.
It's one of their they're affiliated with.
Okay.
You're
Yeah,
like
we can discuss that later. But
Team Duck.
I hate
for life.
Flo. Hate Flo.
Affleck. So I don't know, man. I guess on the hate speech for Flo, I guess we want to wrap this up.
Actually, did anyone caught up on Shield?
No. Oh, that was another point I was going to make. Doesn't it feel very strange that the supporting cast of Flash feels a lot like the supporting cast from Shield?
A little bit, yeah.
Because you have the sort of the
basically lab techs.
Yeah, the lab techs.
Yeah.
It feels just like the lab tech duo from Shield.
Yeah, well, I mean, and that's how Arrow started out, though. Is you had people in the background, and he was the only one ever out, and then they slowly brought Diggle.
But it wasn't like I literally thought the actress that was on Flash was the same chick from Shield. I had to look it up.
Yeah, okay, I get you there.
They're very close.
Yeah,
because did she just jump to a different property, a whole different company, and play the same exact role?
Yeah.
Like, you're going to get typecast like you won't believe.
Well, anyways, y'all should watch the new Shields.
Oh, I will. There's only 2 out so far, right?
Yeah.
I saw the first 4 minutes. I kind of get it.
No.
Like,
That is nothing compared to what happened.
Cool.
Like, I am very, very impressed with Shield this season.
Looking forward to it.
Well, tomorrow's going to be a build day. I'm going to be doing some stuff with the 3D printer. So
That takes a long time. While it goes, you watch.
I design stuff. So I'm in CAD for the printing stuff. Yeah, that's all hands-on or hands-off. But the designing of the part, it's a lot of back and forth with, measurements, calipers, everything else. Then I print out a sample, small enough samples where I can get the sizing right. And then it's back and forth. And sometimes I have to scrap the design, start all over from the beginning again. So, yeah, it's a lot of those back and forth kind of steps.
Take a break. Watch Shield.
Well, on the Marvel side, has anyone heard about the new TV series that's coming out for Marvel?
Is it the spinoff from S.H.I.E.L.D.?
No, it's a whole new series. It's a half hour, which makes me wonder if it's going to be a comedy called Damage Control.
No.
Oh, I see. Just the name of it makes me think this is hilarious. Like, it shows scenes from other Marvel stuff, and it's just guys bantering like Men at Work.
No, apparently this was a limited run comic of people who rebuild the damaged cities that the superheroes and the villains destroy.
I like it.
It's originally owned by Tony Stark and Wilson Fisk, co-owned. Yeah,
that's an interesting duo.
And they get together and they finance it. That's run by this lady. I don't know much about her.
Something comes up as Australia.
It's Marvel ABC comedy. Yeah, it is comedy. It does say comedy TV series Damage Control. So it's gonna be a comedy.
I see a She-Hulk maybe. She's green.
She could be in it. I don't remember her being in there. The Hercules, some various Marvel heroes come in as construction workers at times and come out.
Dude, I can just see like Thor just showing up and being like,
"Yep,
let's clear out all this just debris that."
Yeah, somehow trying to put what is it? I can't ever pronounce it. Mjolnir. I'm sure if Neil was here, he pronounced it with like 4 extra syllables. Mjolnir. Medieval. I need him to hear pronounce medieval, but medieval. I'm sure he would somehow try to put Mjolnir or whatever in his tool belt.
It's Mjolnir. I want Mjolnir.
So they announced. I saw a post today that they announced the sequel for Ant-Man. It's called Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Again,
and they pushed Captain Marvel back again.
Wow.
Yeah,
I'm okay with that.
Did they ever have a director or anything set up for that?
I thought they did. I thought they had one lined up. But I don't know. So now it's pushed back to March 2019.
Yeah.
And that was supposed to be like the property that had. I mean, it was a major motion picture that they were going to have a female lead for.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess they don't have a whole lot of faith in that.
Makes sense. I mean, they don't want to do it wrong.
Some other wrenches got thrown in there too, because now they have Spider-Man that they have to deal with, and they're going to do his movie.
Yeah.
In response to getting that property in the fold.
Yeah, they don't want to compete with it, but I think they could still do that. But
I'm not saying so much in competition, but I'm sure they're rearranging a lot of the chess pieces to take advantage of the fact they have Spider-Man again.
Yeah.
So, I just read something interesting that goes off of what you brought up.
Mm-hmm.
DC's doing the same thing for NBC. It's in vein of the comedy The Office, entitled Powerless, and it's supposed to be a comedy around DC.
Wait, I think I've heard of this, where a superhero loses his power?
I'm assuming he has no power because it's called Powerless.
Yeah. But he had one, but I don't think this is in the DC universe.
They say DC Comics workplace comedy in vein of The Office entitled Powerless.
Yeah, but DC had things like Sandman and some other things that weren't quite in the same universe.
I know like 2 things from DC. That's why I'm asking Chad.
DC was never my thing. I mean, I barely read Batman.
I read Batman and the Outsiders.
I did like early on the Arkham series, and then like random self-contained stories like The Dark Knight Returns, Batman. What was it? Batman Black and White, Hush. Those storylines. The modern stuff. But the Frank Miller classic stuff, anything along those lines, anything Jeff Loeb, Jim Lee, that the Batman Black and White was an excellent storyline. But I'm not really too invested in anything DC just because it was like, you're a god. You're like, why would I care? You're a freaking god. Like I barely mustered up the strength to get the Superman Dies issue just because it was freaking Superman Dies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And even then, by the time I got to it, it was the 4th printing and worth nothing. So, like, the day it came out, that book, the release day was $400.
What?
Yeah, the day the Superman, like the original Death of Superman comic book came out.
A lot of pissed off kids.
Yeah.
I was in retail at that point. I was either at Borders Books or Bookstop.
Yeah.
So we were selling it in with regular price. There were just bunches of them. I didn't think it was going to ever go up because everyone was buying it.
Well, I'm talking about like the one when I saw it on the shelf the day it came out. It was in a black poly bag with the red Superman logo on it. It was bleeding. It had like a card in it and everything else. And I went to 3 different comic book stores, and I was like, I want that, because I was like, the Wizard had been hyping it up for months. Like, this is going to be the issue that's going to kill the market for all previous issues. And I just remember like the stores going like, yeah, it's going to be like $300.
Yeah, I think they were marking it up because I remember it was everywhere.
Should have gone.
Well, that was the thing. Like they would print like certain books that would come out. Either this is a little bit before the variant cover craze, but like variant covers were hitting 3 times higher than the price listed on the book. So the day they were coming out, like I remember when I bought when they did the Age of Apocalypse, and I bought X-Men Alpha. That was supposed to be the whole kickoff to the Age of Apocalypse storyline. The chrome cover that I bought, I paid $20 for on the shelf, and the cover price for that thing was like $5. So, like around the time like comic book stores were being douches, they were capitalizing on the market. That's the reason why the whole thing failed. Like that's why the whole comic book market imploded around like the mid to late '90s, I think it was. Just because you had books hitting, like first of all, like everyone was late with their books. People were missing like the cliffhanger imprint. While Image was very famous for this, Rob Liefeld, Joe Madureira for Battle Chasers, they were famous for going 6 months in between issues. And when it hit, it's like it took you 6 months to put these 22 pages of shit together. Like really? And then it would be like another 9 months before another one. Even Jim Lee, one of the most consistent artists, when he did it was Homage Comics. I can't remember the title, but anyway, he had one of these titles, and the same thing for him. Like it would be like months in between issues because he was running business. Like when these guys tried to write, draw, and also run a business at the same time, it all just went to crap. Where Marvel, you didn't have that problem because you just went to the bullpen. It's like, can you draw Batman or can you draw Spider-Man? Good, you're in. Get it.
Yeah, but we can see which one worked out better. In my opinion, one of them's doing better than the other. Marvel.
Oh yeah, I mean, just because they have the army mentality when it comes to like, I've never really liked Marvel for that reason because all their artists were expendable. This is the whole reason why Image got kicked off to begin with, because
we've heard this a few times.
Yeah, basically, all the creators really made Marvel what it is today. Like everything that you find interesting in movies now was mainly because of these guys that ended up forming Image. They were on all the top Marvel books, and they had co-created so much of those properties and really sort of dug them out of the dirt because no one was interested in any of these books. And then they sort of recreated them in their, brand new characters. Liefeld alone, Deadpool, Cable. Between Liefeld, Jim Lee, and there was another one that was involved mainly with X-Men. But between those like three guys, they created like 3/4 of the X-Men. Other than like the core, like the 15 to 20 that were before, like these guys like created 80 new characters and made it to the point where there was like 15 additional X-Men books because of these guys. So yeah, I kind of hated Marvel for their stance on that whole thing. And even today, like you don't really have, standout artists that are dedicated to a single book. I guess none of the major imprints are like that now, because now it's tied in so much to all these different commercial things. Like Liefeld ranted on that too. It's like you can't do an interesting story because it's like, well, we got this movie, we got this cartoon. Like they won't let them actually do something interesting with the characters because there's so much crap tied into it.
Yeah.
And now it's Disney and Warner Brothers who are sort of overseeing the whole thing.
Yeah, but I think it'll peak, and there'll be a decline, and then it'll wipe, and they'll get to start over.
Yeah, I know. It's like every other market, like this bubble just keeps getting bigger and bigger.
When it drops, though,
bigger.
like when because it's happening like more and more. There's more and more movies lining up, and the bubble's just like bigger and bigger. Right when it explodes and just deflates, there's gonna be so much room for them to be like, we may see some original stories finally. Like Hollywood may not start repeating itself, and because all there is a bunch of repeats.
Yeah,
and then you have like movies that are semi-original.
It's a blessing because it's getting kids into comic book stores, and that's helping a really good underground independent movement happen again. Sour Bunny.
Yeah,
they were talking about. He was talking about doing some actual sequential pieces and like doing a story.
Yeah, me and him were talking about that. Like he's got a few ideas. I'm looking forward to. As soon as he makes headway, I want to have him on, and I still have that whole thing I'm going to do. So
yeah, and it just the with online, with everything else, like you can create a story, and it doesn't matter. You can make a short film, put it on YouTube, overnight have 1 million views. It's never been the environment's never been better for creator-owned content to get out there. You don't have to go. There's no more gatekeeper.
Yeah.
So do it, kids. I'm sorry, I went on another tangent again, as I tend to do.
I found your comic is worth $14 right now on eBay.
The Superman dies? The Death of Superman? You're kidding.
Sealed.
You're kidding.
Unopened.
Which printing? That has to be like a second or third printing or something.
It doesn't say limited edition. It just says new unopened, and then maybe that's.
Well, I know the market fell out. Like my Spawn #1 peaked at several $100s, and now it's down to like $9. It's something like really sad, like really low and sad. Like I should have held on to that. Like I should have sold that when it was at its peak.
It does not look like it's a reprint.
There was a book I was going to talk about. I want to say, I could have the title wrong, but I think the title is Astro City, and it was Kurt Busiek, I think. That's how you pronounce his name. He was the writer. And I know this. I hope I have the title right. But anyway, he tackled like superheroes in a very interesting way. Like they had like more so than like Marvel. These guys had like really, really big faults. Like there was a guy who could fly, but he was terrified of heights. So he spent a lot of time in like therapy trying to get over this because like there were very few people that were blessed with these powers. But there was always something messed up with him. Like there was one guy who couldn't feel anything. The only thing he could actually feel, he was basically impervious to any pain or anything like that. The only thing he could feel was food going down like into his stomach. That's like down his gullet, down his throat. That's the only thing he actually feel. So he ate himself up to like 600 pounds. And he couldn't feel anything, like actually physically touch him. So one of the villains snuck into his house and put a bag over his head while he was asleep, and he never felt it, and he died. So I think it was Astro City, but it was like a really weird look at superheroes. It was like this weird Sopranos kind of thing.
I think that'd be a damn good movie.
It was one of the most interesting independents. I got to remember more about it because I read sporadic issues and didn't get enough of the sequence to go down. But I want to say it was Astro City.
See, but like that, I like that idea better than I'm invincible unless you happen to have like an emerald that we call kryptonite.
Yeah.
Or unless you mention my parents dying, or or like. I'm a god. The only one that can take power from me is my dad, but he always gives it back as long as I feel a little bit on the inside.
Yeah. As long as you learned a lesson, son.
Which still, I like that guy.
I want a Thor like kids sitcom, like the Nickelodeon one. Where they're always getting into some shenanigans, but there's always like a good wrap up, and it's like even better. So we have like a teenage Thor, and we have the dude that played Mr. Feeney as his dad.
Okay, who's gonna play Loki?
Loki. We'll get no, we can't do that. Get the freaking the spunky kid from the one that I wanted to play Spider-Man. He was in Game of Thrones and he was also in The Maze Runner.
Okay, yeah,
that guy.
That could work.
Yeah, get that kid as I guess he's a little bit too old for like a Nickelodeon kind of show.
Oh, I mean, they could be a little older. I mean, they're demigods, right? So they're bigger than humans. And you could if you did it that way, then you could use that the Sage UFC fighter for Thor.
Yeah. But he could pull that off.
He didn't get the haircut though, so that way he didn't look like Zach Morris. He'd have to get the haircut.
Yeah, Sage Northcutt could be Thor, but I want like a really dumb Ashton Kutcher, that 70s show Thor.
I think he can pull that off. He's got the smile and everything.
Real happy to be here.
Yeah, woo!
Real happy to be here. We have given you another show that's guaranteed to be priceless.
Yes, and it won't affect any of your current storylines because this is way back in the day. Like you can even flash back to a good episode and use it in a movie.
But come on, Mr. Feeney is Odin.
He's busy right now, though. He's doing Girl Meets World.
He's doing Girl Meets World.
Oh, okay. That's okay.
You remember Mr. Feeney from Boy Meets World?
Yeah. I always was like, maybe I'll get a new principal and it'll be him.
Yeah, but have that same tone like Thor. You did something that was kind of Morgan Freeman. But anyway.
Look at Australian Morgan Freeman.
Australian Thor.
Anyway,
from the east side of Jersey.
If you want to read an interesting original comic series, have you heard about The Boys? I just sent you the link.
No, I haven't heard about that.
It's sort of a anti-hero group that takes down the heroes because they're too full of themselves and
so kind of like the Bullies League for superheroes.
Yeah, basically they become that, and so these guys, are brought together to take them down.
See, the reason this didn't survive is because of the anti-bullying movement.
Yeah, the anti-bullying movement. Look at you wearing.
No, they take down the bullies.
No, they took down the superheroes.
The superheroes were becoming the bullies.
Yeah. Look at you wearing your underwear on the outside. Look, I got this rock. Be afraid of the rock. It's glowing. Feel it in your chest. Superman. That sounds funny. There was a lot of interesting stuff back in the 80s and 90s. One of my favorite was the Red Star. That had a really interesting sort of take on sort of the military industrial complex, but with like mystical superpowers. So they had these gigantic battleships that were powered by all these different wizards and sorceresses and stuff like that. And one of the main wars, which kicks off like the first 3 pages of the book, they kind of retell the history, and it's from like one of the
a Russian superhero,
one of the witches' perspectives, and they're in these like blast chambers in this ship. And they all sort of max out their powers at once, and they turn the desert, like basically where all of this war was happening, because there was sort of like this 4 horsemen type of character that appeared on the battlefield, and they just sort of had this oh shit moment. And so they summoned all the battleships and basically eradicated the entire army, both armies, both sides, and all civilians that were in several hundred miles around. And basically it's like they have this large graveyard set up, and it's nothing but glass for hundreds of miles. So it's kind of like a really interesting way to kick off the storyline. Like, oh, it's a lot of like Cold War Soviet kind of feel to it, but very very interesting mix of things. Very very different, like interesting mix of elements in that book.
You want to know what his real name is?
Who does?
The Red Star.
The Red Star?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Oh, God.
Konstantinovich Leonid-Kovar.
I don't know if anybody heard that. All right.
It sounds like the Peanuts
Konstantinovich Leonid-Kovar.
Something in a Kornikova.
Konstantinovich Leonid-Kovar.
Konstantinovich Leonid-Kovar.
Okay.
Yeah, there's no way I was even going to try that one. I tried it once and learned my lesson.
Oh, all right. Well,
but yeah, that's his real name, so I don't think I could read that, because if they're going to have words like that, I'm done.
Oh, the character's name from the book.
Yeah, that's the Red Star. That's his name. So that's that's Clark Kent, and then he's Red Star.
There was no main character called the Red Star.
Red Star, real name, the thing I just said, is a Russian fictional superhero in the DC universe.
No.
A former member of Teen Titans.
No.
Oh,
that's not the same thing.
So a different guy? Okay.
That's a whole different book.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, but still, all right. Yeah, we're I think that's time. I think we've ran out of stuff to talk about.
Yeah, that works. Yeah, it's been a while. Wow, my battery's almost dead.
Well,
the Twitters, Libsyn, Facebook. Search for us on Google Plus. We'll eventually be there.
Yeah, or just in general, like one guy that left a comment about AM radio. Tell your friends and get them to leave more comments. Hopefully, more questions that are relevant to the actual show, and we'll try to holler back at you. Maybe.
There's some good ones you got to read after, though. Some Twitters.
Some Twitter. Is there more there?
At Peterless Pirate says something.
Peterless Pirate?
Yeah.
All right. Well, until next time, friends. Good night.